Moving to Indiana? Well, first off, welcome. It's super exciting, but let's be honest, navigating the whole driver's license transfer process, yeah, it can feel a bit daunting, but it really doesn't have to be. In this explainer, I'm going to be your guide, and together, we're going to walk through every single step you need to take so you can hit the road with absolute confidence. Let's get right into it. Okay, so the very first thing you need to know is that the clock actually starts ticking the moment you arrive. As a new resident of Indiana, you have exactly 60 days to transfer your out-of-state license once you officially establish residency. Now, 60 days might sound like plenty of time, right? But trust me, with the very specific paperwork involved in this, you'll definitely want to get started right away. To get your driving legally without hitting any annoying speed bumps, here's our roadmap. We'll cover Indiana licensing the basics, gathering real ID documents, scheduling your BMV visit, testing requirements and fees, avoiding common BMV roadblocks, and finally, hitting the road successfully. All right, kicking things off with Section 1, Indiana licensing, the basics. Let's talk about exactly who needs to apply and when. So who actually has to go through all this? Basically, anyone over the age of 18. Or if you're between 16 and 18 and you've held a valid out-of-state license for at least 180 days, you also need to transfer your credential. Now, you might be wondering, what officially makes me a resident? Well, in Indiana, it means things like registering to vote, working there, running a business out of the state, or just planning to live there for at least 7 months out of the year. Once you hit any of those criteria, boom, that 60-day rule kicks in. Oh, and a really quick side note here, if you're a college student or an active duty military member stationed in the state, you get a pass. You are totally exempt and don't have to switch your license. Moving on to Section 2, gathering real ID documents. Time to pack up your paperwork for the BMV. Now we get to the million-dollar question. What exactly do you need for a real ID in Indiana? I'll give you a hint. It's not just grabbing a couple pieces of junk mail off the counter. The state actually mandates a very strict 4-category framework to secure this credential. You know, the one with that little black circle and white star in the corner? Here is how that framework breaks down. You're going to need documentation across 4 distinct categories. First, one document proving your identity, something like a certified U.S. birth certificate. Second, one document proving your lawful status, such as a permanent resident card. Third, one document proving your social security number. Your official SSN card or a W-2 works perfectly for this. And finally, you need 2 separate printed documents proving your Indiana residency, so think utility bills or a recent bank statement. Now listen closely because this is absolutely crucial. Every single one of these documents must be an original or a certified copy. Seriously, no photocopies will be accepted at the counter, so don't even try it. Now, here's a little pro tip on how you can actually simplify this pile of paperwork. An unexpired U.S. passport is an absolute powerhouse. It often satisfies both the identity and lawful status categories at the exact same time, which is super handy. Also keep in mind that your residency proofs absolutely must show your physical street address. But what if you don't actually get utility bills in your name? Say you're a minor or you're just living with a cohabitant. Well, the state provides a neat little shortcut, the Indiana Residency Affidavit. The adult who signs it on your behalf just needs to come with you to the branch. They can either show their own valid Indiana Real ID with the matching address or provide their own identity and residency documents to verify the household. Easy peasy. All right, Section 3, scheduling your BMV visit. Let's talk about where and how to actually apply. So here is your step-by-step game plan for the visit itself. Step 1, of course, is having all those original documents packed up and ready to go. Step 2, definitely utilize the Indiana BMV's online pre-application tool. Now, it's not strictly mandatory, but it can massively reduce your processing time once you're actually standing at the counter. Step 3, and honestly, this is the most important one, schedule an appointment. You can usually do this 1 to 2 weeks in advance. Look, while BMV branches do technically accept walk-ins, booking an appointment is literally the best way to completely bypass those agonizingly long waiting room lines. And finally, Step 4, just show up to your local branch at your scheduled time. Moving right along to Section 4, testing requirements and fees. Here's exactly what to expect once you're at the branch. Okay, I've got some great news here. If you currently hold a valid out-of-state license, transferring it to Indiana is an absolute breeze. All it requires is a standard vision screening. Yep, that's literally it. No driving test required. However, if your license has been expired for a while, or let's say you've held your valid out-of-state license for less than 1 year, you're going to need to pass both the vision screening and a written knowledge exam. And, heads up, if your license has been expired for more than 3 years, you should definitely be prepared to take an in-car driving skills test with an examiner too. Now, what about the toll booth, right? The fees. Well, surprisingly, Indiana has a really affordable sliding scale based on your age. For drivers aged 21 to 74, a full 6-year license costs just $17.50. From ages 75 to 84, a 3-year license drops to $11. And for anyone 85 and older, a 2-year license is only $7. Honestly, budgeting for this is a piece of cake, especially since the BMV takes payment via cash, check, or card. All right, Section 5, avoiding common BMV roadblocks, because nobody wants to have to make a second trip. Let's talk about the most frequent document traps that cause applicants to get turned away at the door. First up, if your current legal name doesn't perfectly match your birth certificate or passport, say due to marriage, you absolutely must bring the official paper trail, like a marriage certificate or divorce decree, to connect the dots. Second, hospital footprints are super cute, but a hospital-issued birth certificate is totally invalid for a real ID. It has to be issued by a state or local office of vital statistics. Third, whatever document you use for your social security number, it has to show your full name and all 9 digits. Those truncated numbers with the X's, yeah, they won't work. And lastly, P.O. boxes are strictly a no-go for proving residency. Your documents must show your actual physical street address. Now, if you successfully avoid all those little roadblocks, here is what your timeline looks like. You actually won't leave the branch with a hard plastic card. Instead, they'll snap your photo and you'll be issued a temporary paper credential right on the spot. So yes, you are legally allowed to drive right then and there. Your permanent, shiny new Real ID compliant license will just be mailed out to you, and that usually arrives within about 14 days. Almost at the finish line. Section 6, hitting the road successfully. Time for some final resources and a quick recap. Let's do a rapid-fire recap of your ultimate survival guide checklist. Ready? Remember to beat that 60-day clock once you establish residency. Scour your files to secure one document for identity, one for lawful status, one for your social security number, and 2 printed proofs of your Indiana residency. Make sure you jump online to make that branch appointment so you can completely skip the walk-in wait. And finally, bring your current license, pass that vision test, and pay the affordable fee. You've got this. Before you pack up your folders, I highly, highly recommend visiting the state's official web portal at in.gov/BMV. That is going to be your ultimate resource. You can create a MyBMV account, look up the hours for your local branch, schedule your appointment, and honestly, most importantly, download their official Real ID documentation checklist. That way you can literally check off every single requirement as you gather your paperwork. And as always, just a quick disclaimer for you. While this explainer provides an overview based on information available at the time of creation, you should always double-check the official Indiana BMV website or consult with local authorities for the most current and specific regulations. So, having walked through all of these steps, with your documents packed and your roadmap crystal clear, are you ready to confidently hit the open road in Indiana? Go ahead and start gathering that paperwork today, get that appointment booked, and really enjoy everything the Hoosier State has to offer. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and safe travels out there.